Lorenzo, so nice of you to ask me about my role in the movie Wyatt Earp. That movie holds a very special place in my heart. And glad to hear that you're a fan of the Western genre and that you write about the Old West. That's very cool. Um, you know, that movie was made in '93, and there was no internet then, at least not in my world. And so I had to go to the local libraries to sort of try and do some research and figure out who was James Earp. And there wasn't a lot written about James Earp because although James was the oldest brother, he was older than Wyatt, older than Virgil, he wasn't involved in all the gunplay and the shootout at the OK Corral, the gunfight. So, he was not in the limelight. And I had to really dig around. But I was able to find some things that I felt were really helpful to me. And one of them was that James Earp fought in the Civil War for the Union. And he, as was depicted in the movie, he came back from the war in the back of a wagon where he had been hit with a 53 caliber slug in his left shoulder, and he was pretty messed up. And it really affected him, and I think it affected him in not just physically, but also psychologically. When I was thinking about what I would do with that wound, I had kind of thought, well, maybe it caused James to be a little bit closed off here, a little standoffish, whatever. But then I decided, no. I decided that it kind of threw it back and that it was like, yeah, you hit me with everything you got and I'm still here. So that, there was a resilience that he had out of that horror. And, I think that really was true with him because I think he went, you know what life's about? It's about living. And so what mattered to him was a good cigar, good bottle of bourbon, and some cards. And the lady, his wife. He was married to a working prostitute. He made no bones about it. That's a pretty evolved guy, I think. There's a wonderful scene which I got to do in the movie where Kevin comes up to me, as Wyatt comes up to James and basically kind of confronts me over the bar about my being married to a working prostitute who's working right in front of me. And it's great. James's reaction to his younger brother is kind of like, well, yeah, I've been losing a lot of sleep at night worrying about your opinion. It's like, it was great. I loved it. But in terms of, you asked me about what his bond was with his brothers, even though, James, I think, was a bit of a free spirit and certainly listened to the beat of his own drum, not necessarily the drum that the father, Nicholas, had sort of, really hammered home to all those boys, which was, duty, responsibility, and righting any lawlessness that was around. I do think the family still was close because, you saw that as they moved, they all went, they didn't go separately. They all ended up in Kansas City, Dodge City, and then in Tombstone. They continued to be close as a family. So I hope that gives you something. Oh, you know what? I'll show you something. This was a picture in a book, a photographic book by Ben Glass, the set photographer, that he took of me as James Earp, just with a bottle of whiskey, a cigar, and a card that I'm flicking. But I thought that kind of captures something of James, and yeah, it's brings back fond memories. So thanks for asking me about it. You be well.